Hello and greetings and welcome to Better Know a Writer. I am here with Amy Rivers today. Amy, I understand that you are, in fact, a writer.
It does appear so.
So you write mostly dark thrillers. You have a new book out and a few that are on the shelf already. Do you want to tell us a little bit about those?
I published last fall the second book in a series that I'm working on called The Legacy of Silence. That's about a human trafficking operation that happens in a small town in America where people don't think such things happen, but they absolutely do. So, book three of that series will be coming out and finishing off the tale this fall. So,
And the titles for our viewers, please.
the first book is called Complicit. The second is Stumble and Fall, and the new one, which is just recently titled, and the book cover reveal is coming soon, is going to be called Ripple Effect.
Nice. Very exciting, very exciting. So I have compiled a list of 13 questions that have been scientifically proven in laboratories around the world to know you as a writer. And I think everybody is very interested to find out just who you are and what makes you tick. So we'll start off.
All right.
You can only have one book for the rest of your life. What would it be?
Um, oh, forgive me. I'm going to say Pride and Prejudice, the not
A
and zombies
smart
kind.
book. Nice, nice. What is your favorite type of pen?
Actually, just the really super cheap fine point Bic ballpoint pens are my favorites. I actually despise gel pens. So
So
ballpoint,
you Do you prefer the trailer park of pens?
I do. I do. I think they're wonderful, and you can have 7 million of them, and that way, when you lose one, you don't feel sad about it.
Right. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oh, hmm, that's a hard one because I love to travel, and there are a million places I would like to visit that I've never been to before. But honestly, I think if I could live anywhere in the world, I might actually choose to live in like a very cool condo or something in right in the middle of Manhattan or some gigantic city where I could just kind of be right in the middle of everything.
That's brave. Very brave.
Where all the good
Uh,
stuff happens.
I suppose that's true. If I were in Rome, it would be in the center of the world, and New York is the center of the world. So here we are.
There you go.
Uh, what truly scares you the most?
Um, well, let's see. There are many things, but probably the thing that freaks me out the most is not being able to see. So the idea of being anywhere and not being able to see my surroundings enough to be able to be mobile or figure out what's happening is really terrifying. So, like reading books and watching movies where that is in fact one of the big plot points is always like, I would never want that to happen.
Yeah, I know there was a movie called Hush where a woman is hearing impaired and she has her house broken into and can't hear anything, and that's
Yeah.
utterly terrifying.
Well, in the movie A Quiet Place, where like you're deaf and also everybody has to be quiet, and it's just such a maddening idea that one of your major senses that you rely on so much is taken away from you. So I think that's probably the biggie for me, with maybe a close second as being like just completely surrounded by snakes or spiders. So
Spiders are awful. They're totally creepy. Um, what is the best book to movie adaptation?
I think they actually did a really good job of, given what they had of the I was going to say the Harry Potter series, but I actually think they did an even better job of the Hunger Games series. I think they kind of pinpointed all the major stuff in there. Had to leave out a few things here and there, but for the most part, they actually were pretty true to the story in a way that actually made sense. It's a harder one to ask, right? Because like I can come up with half a dozen ideas of things that I think are terrible book to movie adaptations. The good ones, though.
When I read that series, when I read the first book, the first thing I said to myself was, oh, this is going to make a great movie. And so I Googled it right away and I was like, oh, look, it's coming out soon. And so I totally nerded out with all my friends and had like the Hunger Games pin when we went to the theater. My
Yeah,
big
well,
beef
because
with
I
that though is the
What was that?
first movie,
Yeah.
Buttercup the cat, was black and white. How
Yep.
hard
Yep.
would it have been to find a yellow cat?
It may have been like finding a needle in a haystack, but I will say that those are the things where I actually do eventually have to go back and read the books and realize that they made mistakes because I usually am not paying attention quite on that level. But then by the third or fourth or fifth time that I've seen the movies through, then I'm like picking everything out. So, and I know you didn't ask this, but I'm going to answer anyways. I think that one of the worst book to film adaptations was the Percy Jackson books. Those ones were like, they could have been so great.
It's a big
They were
opportunity there for sure.
totally missed.
Star Wars or Star Trek, and why is Star Trek better?
So Star Wars, but only because I actually just love rewatching the old time ones. But I do love Star Trek. I'm actually not as huge a fan as I probably should be of the really, really early like James T. Kirk movie or television series, but I loved all of The Next Generation and pretty much everything they're on. So I'm going to say both, but I am kind of a Star Wars girl. Sorry.
All right. Where do your ideas come from?
My ideas mostly come from real life. I spend a fair amount of time thinking about and paying attention to a lot of the social issues that are happening in the world. And so uh, I look at those things and try and extrapolate what might actually it look like if you were kind of immersed in the middle of that, so that hopefully readers will get a sense of what it feels like to actually be involved in or having to bear witness to some of the worst things that happen in life, which probably makes my books a little bit darker and also maybe a little grim in terms of, most readers wanting to kind of escape. But I feel like there's something important about real life and all the things that happen in it.
Books might be more horror than mine in that regard, because mine are completely bullshit. So, um,
There's something to be said
what's
about that too. That's a good thing.
yeah. What's the best font?
Anything but Comic Sans. I
That's the
actually really don't
perfect
care
answer.
as long as it's not Comic Sans.
Comic Sans is for one thing, comic books.
Uh-huh.
How many notebooks is too many notebooks?
You can never have enough notebooks
Good answer.
of any sort, whether spiral bound or not, whether completely full to the brim or not, whether you ever look at them again or not. You can never have too many.
So that's what you would like for your birthday this year.
If you get me a notebook, I will promise you that I will at some point write something in it. I cannot promise you I will ever look at it again, but yes, I will enjoy it during that time. So absolutely.
What is on top of your to be read pile or piles?
Um, right now I'm reading the Canine series written by Margaret Mitsushima. So I'm getting ready to pile into book 7. Actually, I've read book 8 already, so I'm going backwards and working my way back up. But that and the new book by Omega Miranda, and I think I have a Ruth Ware sitting on so lots of crime fiction, lots of psychological thrillers.
I'm actually going to go visit with Margaret this afternoon, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I saw her last weekend at the Tucson Book Festival. I'm sitting right
Nice,
next to
nice,
Craig Johnson, and they were both just lovely. So
nice. If you could have coffee with anyone at all, who would that be?
literary or not.
Anyone, anyone in the world, or living or dead.
Karen Slaughter.
Nice.
I
Yeah,
do harbor a little bit of a fantasy that we might be best friends sometime in this lifetime. So yeah, Karen Slaughter.
nice. I'm best friends with Jennifer Lawrence. She just doesn't know it.
That would be a good one too. She's funny. So she'd be a
She
fun,
is.
snarky person to hang out
Yeah.
with.
I don't want to date her. I just want to be friends.
Yep.
Maybe.
Oh yeah. Just coffee.
Um, yeah, really. Or drinks. Uh, what advice would you give writers in 5 words?
Don't quit. And something else.
Learning is hard for writers. I get it. I get it. That's why we use letters and not numbers.
It's
Well, Amy,
either that or go the long way and not get into 5 words. So I was within the limit.
sure, sure. It has been a pleasure talking to you, and thank you. I believe that you are now officially known.
Hey.